Good. Okay.
This is gonna be a great episode.
We don't use mine anyway. We don't use my recordings anyway.
Just in case. Just chill, homie.
This is gonna be a great episode, guys. Episode.
Wow, are you in my room?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like I was saying, this is gonna be a great episode, guys. Episode 4. Episode 4. Yep. And we have a very special guest, an actual comedian who's going to do some stand-up for us. We have a video, we have an audio we're gonna play. She should be with us in about 8 minutes. But up until then, let's just chit-chat, guys.
I got a bone to pick. Oh, I got my own bone to pick.
Yeah?
Wait,
oh, by the way, I'm here with the lovely Neil.
Yo, what's up, boys?
And Will.
Hi.
Let's hear.
What happened to That's Me? You don't do that anymore?
That's me.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, exactly. I was ready for that.
I know. I did it. I missed it on one of them, so then I wasn't sure if I was going to continue.
No, you haven't.
Will.
I did.
Let's pick some
bones. But I do have a bone to pick. My bone to pick.
Pick your bone.
Is with this motherfucker right here. This one. Do you know why I have a bone to pick?
That shirt is fire.
That shirt is pretty good. I have a bone to pick. Why is mine like backwards? Anyway,
would you just tell us what you have a bone to pick about?
Because this guy here lost a bet. Was gonna post a picture of him in a tub that he was already going to post a picture of anyways. And it was like, guys, I think this is good. I think this is pretty embarrassing. So I say, no, that's bullshit, Neil. You don't get to pick what you pick, what we post. So I found a video. Ended up posting the video. Now the motherfucker decides that it's time to shit talk and say, oh, well, that wasn't that embarrassing. I don't know why. You picked the one. He started going off. So I posted another video. Everyone loves it, by the way. So if you haven't seen it, go to our Instagram, see these videos. But then he has the audacity to go into the group chat and say, Will, you've never wronged me this bad in my life. I
know that wasn't me because I don't use verbiage like that. Now I know you're lying. Now you're not. Now you're just lying to our viewers.
I don't walk away from war. I get payback. You picked the wrong guy to go to war with. Now suffer the consequences. This is what I said. I said, bro, calm down. I posted a video of you. He goes, if you think this is drama, you're a bigger idiot than I thought. If you think I'm embarrassed for 1 second, I don't give a fuck in the slightest. And I'm like, so Neil, can you
first thing I'd like to say, and I apologize because Will is a horrible storyteller. He's one of the worst storytellers I've ever met. Ever. So most of our viewers have seen episode 2 where Jay and I made a friendly bet with Will saying that he can't spell. And Will ended up spelling 3 out of 5 words right. So I had to post the bet was we have to make an embarrassing post. Now, I didn't know how to spell a word, so Jay doesn't have to post anything, but I was supposed to post something. A week or 2 has gone by and we still have not posted anything. Episode 2 came out on Wednesday. People have been texting me, where's the embarrassing post? Last Wednesday. It is now Monday. Where's the embarrassing post? Where's the embarrassing post? So Will doesn't post anything. He's supposed to post something embarrassing of me. I didn't care what it was because I don't care what Will does for the most part. Everyone knows that. I don't give a... Will can't embarrass me. He doesn't know how. I have too much dirt on him. He knows not to go to war with President Schneider. He knows. So I told him, Will, post something. If you don't post something in the next 24 hours, I'm going to post this picture. And it was a relatively embarrassing picture of me, I felt like. Will says, no, the picture is not embarrassing enough. I said, okay, then post something. He posts something. He was only supposed to post one thing. That was a bet, right, Jay? One thing. Jay, still there with us?
Yeah. Sorry. What's the point of this? I'm sorry. I was just trying to check in with our guest. I was trying to check in with our guest.
Oh, he was supposed to post one embarrassing post, right?
Yeah. So he posted 2. Is what I saw. I saw 2 posts.
No, he posts 1, and then I comment, "Oh, good. It's not even that embarrassing. Just messing with him because I knew it would get in his head." And of course, what did I do? I got in his head. Before we know it, he posts another video that's supposed to be embarrassing too. Luckily, they're both not embarrassing, but that's as someone who makes bets quite often.
I want war.
I didn't interrupt your stupid crap. Are you done?
What's the issue here? Like, what is the fight that you guys are having right now?
I don't know what Will's beef is. I don't think anyone knows because his stories stink. But my beef is that the bet was he was supposed to post one embarrassing post. Now he posts two, thinking that it's gonna bother me or something. Well, the bet was one, and that's just low. That's low life, Will, not to abide by a bet. Now you're making your own rules, and I just think it's just, as a person who makes bets from time to time, I follow the consequences.
Time to time.
And now you're changing the rules, so I don't know. It's just low life, Will. I don't know. It's just, I would never do something like that. Now I know the person you are is just a snake move. It's slimy, but we'll see. You started a war, Will.
So I won the first battle?
You started a war, but I'm going to finish the war. Trust me.
But then how do you finish a war that, like, we'd have to continue to do some more competitions?
Sleep with your eyes open. So, how's everyone's weekend, Jay?
Fine. Let's pivot. Let's pivot.
Show today?
Let's pivot a little bit from this,
pivot.
guys. Our guest is going to be ready in a couple minutes. This was riveting stuff. I mean, just like listening to you
really
guys.
Paying attention. You were engaged.
I paid attention to everything. Okay.
Jay, I have a question.
Apparently, you guys are arguing over social media. No, this is what the viewers want to see. They want to see you guys being petty and arguing over things that nobody's going to understand. That's good content.
I lost fair and square. All right, but Will's changing the rules after I lost, and now he's putting multiple posts out there. I think it's just wrong, and he's coming at me for it. Why is that? What's that about? What did I do? I play by the rules. Will gets mad that he can't get in under my skin. I say one sentence, and I'm all up under his skin. It's too easy.
Too easy.
Yeah.
Jay.
So the viewers probably by now have realized that you two are competitive with each other.
There's no competition. This is not a rivalry. This is a look into what the group chat is like. It's literally Will and Neil going off, arguing nonstop, and me occasionally going on rants that they don't respond to. Like, they never respond to my posts. But the moment Will or Neil says something, the other one jumps in immediately on the other. No. How dare you? No, you're starting a war. It's just like, what is happening right now?
Is booty.
What?
The only thing Jay posts is booty.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we call a callback, ladies and gentlemen.
For the people that saw Jay's stand-up.
Wait.
On the first episode.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, that joke's gone. So, no. I just wanted to... Let's talk about me for a little bit. I went on a lovely walk. It was very peaceful. It's beautiful, beautiful weather outside. Days like this make me feel like Denver is just paradise, honestly. Like, perfect weather. Tons of like young, beautiful people just walking out. I saw a girl walking and she moved her mask so she could spit. That was the highlight of the walk. She just like moved her mask and like did a look around and then just like spit a huge loogie onto the ground. So that was cool. There was those like apartments near your place where people are always just like having fun or like causing a ruckus. There was like a big argument going on at one of those as I walked. But you would have loved it, Will.
Crazy. I always just hang out there just to watch. Like one time they just ran over a kid's bike. Everyone was yelling.
Just to watch the young minority residents arguing. Is that what? Yeah. Well, just sitting there with popcorn. This is gonna be good, guys. Oh my God, she didn't pay child support. You know what I mean? That's what it is. It's all like, now I'm gonna have a social services case up on it. You know what I mean? Just like people screaming with their doors open. Like I could hear it 2-3 blocks away. It was awesome. So our guest is just getting arranged.
What does that mean?
I don't know. That's what
I just. Does that mean she's getting bequothed to someone?
Bequothed. Yeah, that's a word.
I guess I'm gonna see it when she wants to. Maybe she's still getting ready. Is that what that means?
Well, check your participants because you have to admit people, right?
I see it. I've checked it a couple times.
Okay, cool.
Did you guys hear today about this vaccine?
No.
You haven't heard about
Moderna's? Is this a joke?
No, I'm serious.
Oh, I thought it was like the setup to a joke. Hey guys, you heard about the vaccine?
You guys didn't see the stock market today just explode?
No, fuck. I should have gotten in.
Did a couple of days ago.
Way up today.
Really?
Yeah, Moderna did its first stage trial of its vaccine, not a medicine, an actual vaccine, and it was very positive. It's an early stage trial, but they're going to go into stage 2. There's like 4 or 5 trials they got to go through, and then they've got to get it out to the people. But supposedly it's working. I don't.
Yeah?
You guys really have not heard that yet today?
No. To update the
Sorry,
people
I've been
on
working.
my health.
Yeah.
My health. I have arrhythmic heartbeat. They think.
Holy shit!
So I'm gonna have to go in and get it confirmed that something's off. So yeah, that's cool.
How did they just find that out now? They didn't.
Well, they thought that there was something like the ER doctor thought that it looked off. So I had a meeting today with my primary care, and then he looked at the EKG and he's like, "Ooh, yeah, maybe there's no cause for concern. It could have just be from the dehydration, but something is definitely a little bit off. So I'm gonna go in sometime this week to then see if it's got back to normal or what."
Did they say you were dehydrated for sure? They know for sure you were dehydrated?
No, just because I said I was dehydrated.
But what about COVID? Did you get tested for COVID, or did that come up? No. Just curious.
Right.
Man, that's scary.
You're sitting in my room, and you don't know if you have.
Oh, if you come back, or if or when you come back, this place is just covered in it, bro.
No, but the question I have about that, and I guess we don't have to like just get into your personal health stuff, but have you ever had like an arrhythmic heartbeat before?
I don't know. I haven't ever been tested, but that's what my dad, he had a heart attack, and like that's his massive heart failure. They had to like use a defibrillator and then do heart surgery. And whenever they did all that, like they thought it was it was a heart attack, but it wasn't because of a clogged artery. All of his arteries were completely fine. It was because the arrhythmia. So yeah, who knows?
Could be genetic.
For those of people that don't know about Will's condition, you got to watch episode 2.5, our bonus episode that came out last week. It talks about what happened to him. He basically had a stroke. That's what we think.
But I didn't. Like I didn't.
Well, we don't know you didn't.
Well, I don't know.
Nobody knows what you had.
Who knows? Maybe Corona. No, it's not Corona. Jay's wrong. It's not Corona for sure.
Yep.
Well,
that just proves it, though, right? Did that make you feel better, Jay? Because now they're saying
no, I don't feel better that he has an arrhythmic heartbeat. That could have been there the whole time too. Apparently, it's genetic.
I think so.
No, now you're really grasping for straws, Jay.
What are you grasping for straws? What with logic and facts? These
Straw
are my straws.
grasper.
Logic, facts. You know, truth,
hey,
information.
Our guest has not in the participants.
It's cool. Give her a little time. We can chit chat, right?
Message her to make sure.
I did. She said she's getting arranged. Will.
Arranged?
Can you guys wear different shirts?
No.
No.
Well,
like ever?
I started it.
I wore it on purpose this time.
I'm sick of this.
I don't always wear it, but I wore it on purpose.
Okay, yeah, but the last 2 episodes, you guys have been in the same shirts.
Nah.
Maybe you're.
Nah.
The one
What do you mean, nah? Yeah.
Why don't you wear this shirt? Then all 3 of us can.
Because we're gonna be dorks.
We already are dorks, bro.
Well, Will is definitely.
We're doing a podcast, bro. We're dorks.
You're holding that like Death Star microphone, like I'm a dork.
Yeah. Hey, I just want to say, just like life, Will just copies me all the time. Everything I do, he's like, "Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna do it too." I've been wearing this.
Neil is just
since
so
the first
angry at
episode.
Will. Neil, you're just so angry at Will
though,
today.
Neil thinks that I copy him, but what he doesn't realize is I just do it better. Everything. So I'm sorry.
It's not doing it better when you're doing the exact same thing.
Neil, how long have you had that water bottle? That thing looks 20.
Why? Because this is gone?
Yeah.
Dude, this is an Aquafina bottle.
Oh.
I'm going to shout out to Dasani. I'm going to make a shout out to Dasani. Will.
Why?
Cállate. Dasani bottles, they have the little wrappers around it.
Mm-hmm.
Dasani bottles, the wrappers never come off. They're so solid. Every time I get an Aquafina bottle and I put it in the fridge, every time I want to drink it, as soon as I put my hands on it, it crumples. What is that? So it looks like this. Dasani, if you're listening to this podcast, we need sponsors. Hit us up. It'd be the Coke brand. It'd be Coke. So Warren Buffett, if you're watching this. Oh, Warren, if you're watching, we need a sponsor.
Is our guest here?
Our guest is here. Shall we bring her in?
Let her in.
Bring her in, yeah.
All right. I think I did.
I got a haircut today, guys.
Oh,
hello.
She's outside. Didn't expect that. Hey, Bridget.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Yeah, I'm outside in the yard because I have really terrible reception. in the place where I'm staying. So hopefully this will be better.
Yeah, no, I like it. It's a beautiful day, so it works. A little bit bright, but I think it'll be good. Yeah, thanks. So I didn't really introduce you yet. I don't know all of your credits. I know that you're a very talented comic, a very good writer. I was just reading. She sends out like letters, basically like an email, list. Mm-hmm. A very cool person. You've lived in several cities, done comedy there. The video you sent us is in New NE, whatever abbreviation that is.
That's Nebraska.
I was like, it can't be New Hampshire.
That was from this winter.
Oh, okay. So yeah. Anyway, Bridget Callahan is our guest. Let's give it up, guys.
Woo! Oh, Bridget.
I clapped though. You guys didn't clap.
I lost you a second. Wait.
We were just saying your name and clapping.
Okay, but it just went mute. That's why.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm afraid of, is I'm gonna have mute moments. Anyway, so Will and Neil, nice to meet you guys.
Yes. What's up, Bridget? What you drinking there?
I have a mojito.
Oh.
Yeah,
I wish I had a mojito.
Weed, and I'm trying to cut down my weed consumption for a little bit because it's been real high. So we're shifting to alcohol for a minute.
There you go.
Real high, literally and figuratively, right?
Yeah.
That was a good pun.
Seriously, I've gone through a lot of weed. It's time to take a break, and I haven't really been drinking like this whole quarantine. So it's time to switch.
Yeah, there you go. Switch it up a little.
Keep your body guessing. That
Keep the tolerances on edge.
You work liver one day, lungs the other day, and that's how you work out. You just sort of move from place to place.
Jay, you
self-care. Look it up.
Jay, you have audio from a stand-up performance, or what do you got?
I have video, but we'll play the audio. We'll just do audio, but I have a video. And you said to start around 4:22.
Yeah, because you guys don't want to hear the whole thing, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I think 5 minutes is probably good.
It's long. It's like a 10-minute clip. Just start it. Start it at the 4-minute mark.
Cool. All right. So without further ado, then
I lost you guys again, didn't I? Fuck.
No, we see you. It just kind of breaks up from time to time. Don't worry about
We
it.
can hear you. Yeah.
We can hear you. It actually froze. Oh, it actually froze in a nice spot. You were smiling. It was.
Yeah.
Good. If I can freeze photogenically, that's what matters.
There you go. You got that going for you.
I wonder if I should walk around the yard and see if I get better reception in other places.
All right, Jade's gonna.
Or it's my sunglasses. Or I got mad. I took my sunglasses
off. Yeah. We'll wait till she unfreezes.
Jesus, really?
No, you're good. Oh.
You're good? Okay.
Yeah, hang out there.
We'll play it and see what happens.
Just don't move.
Don't move. Stay right there.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so without further ado, I'm starting in the middle, and let's go.
But they hate it. And I was waiting for the epiphany at 40. I thought that there would be some, this is how you live your life, right? Some moment. But it turns out the only epiphany at 40 is that I've seen a lot of dicks in my life. Seen a lot of penises. It's like eating salt and vinegar potato chips, maybe a little bit, oh, that girl right there. No, right? You're eating them, and then 20 minutes later the bag is gone and your mouth is on fire. You're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. That is an STD metaphor for everyone here who didn't get it. I'm not weird about getting older. Honestly, I don't want a family, I don't want kids. I'm just kind of trying to get through this, right? But the thing that weirds me out about getting old is I don't want to get to the point where I find myself having to use lube. It's the flavors of lube that throw me off, if we're being honest. It's like bend me over banana. I have daddy, she's cherry vanilla. I think it tastes a little bit more like what I was expecting when I had sex. Something like late night taco. Held my pee in too long at the club pineapple, Don't kiss me there, PBR, that's a real big one. That's a real big one right there. Even though I'm 40, for the last 6 years I've been dating nothing but 22-year-olds. Yeah, all the women are real behind that. It turns out, if you don't know, there is an expiration date to how long you can pretend to be impressed by vape tricks, and I hit it. So, I've been trying to date a little older. I've been trying to date some guys my own age. It's hard. I don't know what it is about 40-year-old guys, but like something in their salivary gland just kicks up and goes into overdrive. Making out with a 40-year-old is like making out with a goldfish on Molly, you know? Like a drunk St. Bernard trying to convince you the gin blossoms in the big band. That's what it's like. 40-year guys are weird too. I went on one date with a guy. I thought it was going to be a successful date, honestly. I thought it would go well. We get on the date. It turns out he's a puppeteer. It was a fine date, other than that, honestly, it was. But he did that thing at the end of the day that's a little weird. You know, I just met him. He's like, hey, do you want to go back to my house and smoke a bowl, have a nightcap? My parents raised me very feminist, very steady diet of Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood self-esteem, right? So if there's one thing that taught me, it's that you never turn down free puppets and weed, so I went. And then he did that thing that I was most scared of. He made me listen to podcasts for 2 fucking hours while we're stoned. So I'm walking around his house trying to ignore the dulcet tones of whatever comedian he's got on, and I notice all along his house, there's all these pictures framed. And it's the same 5 people in these very elaborate wolf costumes. Because this guy is a furry. I wanted to see how many people in Scottsbluff, Nebraska knew what that was. Sounds like about 40%. For those of you who don't know, a furry is someone who dresses up in an elaborate wolf costume that costs my rent and goes out and parties with people and fucks them in their wolf costumes sometimes, apparently. Honestly, if I was wearing something that expensive, I don't know how you pay for the dry cleaning. But all the pictures of him and his wolf pack were walking around the house. They're fucking hanging out in the Moab camping. They're on a cruise ship in Greece. They're trying coffee beans in Jamaica, right? By the end of it, I was like, shit, I'm a comedian. I have no financial support. How do I join your wolf pack, right? Do I let you sniff my ass? Is that the protocol? How do I get my vaccinations for this shit? All right, here's the last reason I have a problem dating 40-year-olds. They say weird fucking shit to you. And I'm going to tell you guys the weirdest, grossest thing a guy's ever said to me. Do you want to hear it? I need a bigger response to that. Thank you. Kyle put me up because I was the gross one first, so this is the test. I went on 2 dates with this guy, 2. Apparently he felt very comfortable with me. And he texted me and he said, hey, I just had this funny thought just now. What if we took your cum and my cum and we mixed them together and I spoon-fed them to you?
Yeah.
Is this thing an actual real-life human being texted me? And first of all, that feels like a face-to-face conversation. Second problem. No one in the history of just thinking of things has ever just thought of that. You've been holding on to that shit for 15 years or wanking off to Margaret Thatcher, whatever the fuck else you were doing. I'm the first girl who looks like she might actually do it, and I don't know how to change that about myself, but I'm working on it, you know? Second problem, I'm a creative pothead. I thought about it. I was like, what the hell would that be like? Your cum, my cum. It's a very obvious time delay, first of all, right? So one of them is going to get cold. And I have to think about lukewarm liquids. I don't think you can microwave that shit. So I texted him back and I said, hey, I am willing to try this if you are willing to hold it in your mouth and mama bird me at the end. And I never heard from him again. That's how you do it. I'm going to call. Have a good night.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, that was good. I mean, that was way
awesome.
better than any of the trash comedy we've had on the show so far. Mostly just mine and Will's. So we can say that. We can say that. But yeah, I liked a lot how you, like, when all the disgusting lines are coming out, you just like smile sweetly into the camera. It's a nice contrast.
That's the superpower, man. That's the Karen superpower. Now that I'm a 40-year-old white woman, I can get away with saying everything. It's amazing.
Yeah. Neil liked that one.
Yeah, man. So many good like visuals, while also like horrible visuals, but very good visuals.
I can taste some of those jokes in my mouth.
That's definitely something I think I want to bring in, is a lot more of that, like setting the scene and really making it more visual. Or to me, a lot of that, the goldfish on Molly and then the microwave come really. Oh my god. Yeah. Woo.
I guess like we're kind of like just very novice level comics, so we probably more just want to just ask you instead of like I don't have any feedback. I thought it was really good.
I mean, I think she's really good at telling the story, setting up the joke. You know.
Yeah.
I think that her way of doing stand-up comedy is kind of explaining a story of what happened and then ending with something funny as the punchline.
I'm very much a writer that way, right? Because I've been writing. I mean, that's my main thing, is I'm a writer, and I've been writing comedy way longer, just comedy essays way longer than I've been doing it on stage. So yeah, I tend to write out everything just word for word and kind of learn it that way. So I think that helps with the visuals, because it's easier when you're actually trying to describe something on page, but you take so many shortcuts when you're describing it to somebody in person, because you can see them and you assume that they just like know what you're thinking about, what you're gesturing about. But when you actually write the words on the page, you have to go into more detail, and I think more funny stuff comes out that way.
How long
it translates well to audio. We're all talking at once. Go ahead.
Oh,
guys.
really?
Well, no, just I think Neil and I kind of had the same thing. How long have you been writing, just in general, or specifically the comedy essays?
I mean, I started. I had this is old school. I'm dating myself super hard. This whole podcast. I had a really popular live journal for a really long time.
Nice.
And then I transitioned to my own blog, and I had a blog for like 10 years in Cleveland that was a really well-read blog. And so a lot of that was humor. And then I was the fiction editor for this magazine called The Tusk, which is like literary humor stuff. So kind of like how McSweeney's used to be. And yeah, just all of my writing has always been humor oriented, just because it's kind of like that early 2000s Gawker vibe, right? Like that's what I grew up on, was Gawker and Jezebel and that sort of stuff. So it's definitely where I'm from.
Just kind of like tongue-in-cheek, sort of like takes on things that are going on.
And are most of the stories, like either the essays or your actual stand-up, come from actual experiences, or are you making stories up, or a combination of both? Or
it's a combination of both.
Okay.
I mean, none of those stories I'm talking about happen that way word for word. And the more I tell them on stage, like the more you just get like up with lines for it, right? The come versus come one, the guy did actually text that one to me.
Wow.
And you were like, yes, this is going to be great on stage. Thank you so much.
Dude, I was dating him at the time. Not serious. It was like we had gone on dates, right? So it was like the fourth or fifth time I saw him, and he had texted that to me. And I told him, my dumbass, he came over the next day, and I was like, hey, I'm not using your name, but just so you know, like I told this joke and it went really well. And he was like, haha, that's so funny. And then I never heard from him again.
Hey, it was worth it. I think it was worth it.
It was worth it. Yeah, it was absolutely worth it.
the furry thing is so funny too. Like you're going into the house and you're like, oh, this is normal. It's like seeing dead babies or something.
Come back.
We can hear you still. Can you hear us? Hello?
Are you still there?
We're there. Yep.
There you are. Hi.
So what were you asking, Will?
I was saying that the furry story is so crazy too. It's like you come into a house and you open the freezer and there's dead body parts or something. It's like, oh fuck, like you're that kind of person. All right. Yeah. Oh, you're out there. Wow.
Yeah, that was a real date too. That guy was a music professor at Oberlin. I thought I was going in for like the nicest, most like grown up date. And he was really nice. I mean, like I'm not trashing anyone who's a furry. Because legit, that was, I mean, he had
don't trash him, because that's most of our viewers.
Yeah, we have a lot of furry fans. A lot of furry fans.
Just say that's a rich person's kink for sure.
Yeah, well, cruises, Jamaican coffee tastings. It sounded like the guy had money at least.
It would seem like you would go on like to Norway or Antarctica or like somewhere where it's colder.
Antarctica.
I wouldn't
Is
want
that
to
what you just said?
Okay, I did say Antarctica, but I took it back mid-sentence. but somewhere where it's actually cold. Like, I don't want to be in Jamaica where everyone else is in bikinis and you're in this like 30-pound fucking costume that's so heavy and hot. Yeah. Huh.
Are you there? You
I
back?
think I missed. You know what I think keeps happening? I think that when you guys talk at once, it's over video. So when I switch screens, it comes back. Anyway, what did you just say?
Just that I would think that it's you would go to a colder climate if you're going to be going on vacation instead of Jamaica. Seems real hot and sweaty.
Yeah.
Bridget, I have a question for you.
Sure.
I think some people watch the show hoping to get into stand-up comedy themselves and don't know how to start doing that. So what, as far as like preparation for a show and getting into the community, what's the best way that you know, since you've gone through it, of how to become a stand-up comic, even if it's just an amateur stand-up comic?
So the place where I started was this small town in North Carolina, and it was they have a club, but it was a much smaller scene than Denver, and so I think the two things are different. It depends very much on like what size your scene is, but I mean, the basic advice is always the same, right? If you want to do it, just find the open mic, the one that everyone's going to, right? Like, don't be a coward and go to the one that nobody else is at. Go to the one where everybody's at, and then keep going up until somebody asks you to do something else. That's how I did it. Is I just kept coming and I kept going, and eventually the club was like, okay, do you want to do this spot? And people start booking you. But I think that sometimes comics start and they think they're going to start getting booked like 6 months in a big city without realizing that there's 500 people also competing for all those spots. Like, you really, it's like learning an instrument. It's not like, oh, I'm so funny, I got some laughs, I can do it now. Like, you have to practice for years to be any good. I think I'm pretty mediocre, and I've been doing it for almost 7 years. And I'm definitely not a headliner yet. So I just made feature status. So
I mean, I think it takes a while though, from what I've heard, to get from like open micer, then to like feature, and then to like, opening for maybe a bigger person, and then like, headlining your own stup. That's like 10 years,
it's like
right?
a 10, 15
yeah,
year
exactly.
journey.
At least 10 years, right? Like from what I've heard.
It's like learning a guitar. You wouldn't pick up a guitar and be like, oh, within 6 months, hey, look how great I am, I'm gonna start my own band.
Have you seen that happen though? Have you seen people like get too much too quickly, or like have you seen people just like skyrocket past you and it's like fuck? Because I feel like that's like a common thing I've heard happens. It's like some people,
Yeah, well, and especially when you're a woman.
Totally.
Yeah, there's not that many of you, right? So if this like hot girl who is real funny is new, and the same 5 women have been booked on the same shows in one city for the last year, then yeah, she's gonna get every show.
Interesting. Yeah.
And I think I've seen that backfire for people.
Right.
Sometimes it's good for them to get that much exposure right away. Other times you find them a year later, they're still doing the same 5 minutes, and everyone's kind of losing respect for them because they haven't been forced to work up a catalog of new material,
Yeah.
How do you
Hey, guys, I just gotta say 1 second. We have less than a minute left.
Oh yeah, can we call you on another Zoom? We're using the free version. This is a
Oh yeah. Is it 40 minutes already? Yeah, it's totally fine.
I'll just email you the new Zoom link. We'll take a little break for the viewers, and then we'll be back in a second with more Bridget Callahan. All right, and we're back, guys, with more Bridget. So what were we talking about before we braked?
We were talking about how furries should only take vacations in cold places.
Right, that was it. Thank you for bringing us back.
I do have one question, or one thing that always comes up for me that I guess where I struggle to make open mics is it always seems like they're so late.
Yes.
And so I guess it's just something I just got to suck up and just say, well, if you want to do this, then you're going to be tired the next day.
It's very taxing. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I've talked to a lot of comedians who, now that we've had this whole big break, they're not even like doing Zoom or anything because they're just happy to have the break because it's like a 5 or 6 nights a week. You should be going out. You should be spending a couple of hours to get like 5 minutes on stage. And then once you start going around, then you're like touring and you're driving. And I live in Fort Collins, so I'm coming down to Denver constantly for shows, and that's a whole day thing. And it's yeah, you talk to some of the Denver comics. I mean, they go out to a mic every single night. Wow. And then somehow it doesn't make all of them better. So, you know.
Have you heard anything, Bridget, about when there's going to be stand-up going on again in Denver or Colorado? Anything coming up live?
Well, I know there's been a couple people that have been doing like parking lot shows. Like my roommate has an FM transmitter, and so people come and they park in their cars, and the comics tell jokes from a microphone.
Oh, like a drive-in.
Yeah, like a drive-in.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's become a thing. But no, I haven't heard. I'm actually going to be moving back to North Carolina. I'm not even going to be in the scene anymore because I figured I am not myself planning on doing any social events for a long time still. And if I'm not doing that, then I'm just going to go back to the beach. If I'm just going to be calling in on my shows.
Are you moving permanently? Are you moving temporarily? Or are you figuring that out still?
Figuring that out. I mean, you know, I work remotely, so my job kind of goes wherever I go, and so I'm going to go down to the beach. My friend got me a really good deal in Wilmington for a couple months, and then I was going to try and go to Belgium. My friend offered me a job in a place to stay in Belgium if the embassy ever opens up again. So, like, I mean, like I said, I can't picture being back in the bar scene for till at least after January, you know. So we'll see if I can. We'll see what happens with borders and moving and things like that. My life is just kind of up in the air all the time anyway. But at least until fall, I'm definitely going to go back to the beach, since I don't think anything's going to start happening. I mean, I bet you Comedy Works opens up in July. If I had to make a bet, I'd think Comedy Works is like, we can distance, it's fine. But like brewery stuff like that, I mean,
I'm in Texas, and they're opening up like crazy. I mean, bars, I think this Friday, 25%. You can have 25% capacity of bars this Friday. So it's crazy down here. I drove by a mall yesterday, and it was like packed with people. Like Texas is crazy. It's just.
Yeah, I think certain
I bet
places...
in 2 weeks we're gonna be skyrocketing with numbers, but whatever. Anyone wants.
I'm just waiting to see. I mean, that I kind of set my, you know how like we don't have any. It's so hard to get any decent information, so I kind of had to set my own boundary of like, when am I willing to go out in public again? Because I'm pretty high risk. I'm like in my 40s. I have had lung problems. I've had like chronic bronchitis, so it's a big deal for me. And I said to myself, once I see the death count for the U.S. go below 500 a day and stay there for a while, then I'll start to think about it. But I think that's a long way off.
Why would you want to be the guinea pig? You know, all these people let them be the guinea pig, see how they do, and then go from there, right? But guys, you guys want to do bomb, kill, survive?
No. I don't want to. I feel disingenuous rating like actually good. Like it's for sure a bomb or for sure a kill for me. I don't know. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I thought it was really funny. So
okay, so that's why the show is called Who Invited Will, because who invited him to rate people? So I'll give a rating since Will doesn't want to. For me, it wasn't a kill. For me, it wasn't survive. It was not a bomb. It was a survive for me. And one reason,
because you couldn't hear any of the audio.
I couldn't really hear it that well
through Zoom.
So I couldn't hear the punchlines that well. No excuses though. I did hear some of it. The last joke, I think it sounded like it was the best joke just from the audience. And I thought it was funny. The stuff I heard, I thought it was funny.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought you did really good with telling the stories. Like I said before, I think you do a really good job of setting it up. Just for me, there wasn't a couple of bangers in there for me that I really made it just a killing performance for me. So that's why I rated a survive.
Wow, Neil.
Jay?
I think she killed. I could hear perfectly fine. I thought she killed. I've heard some of her stuff too. Like I've heard some of those jokes just like at gigs you've done, and I like them there. But I think, I don't know. I have a couple questions just quick. I have two questions just kind of quickly.
Oh, wait. Hold those questions. We froze for a second.
Are you good?
Yeah.
So the first one, so I've heard them at different sets, but what I've noticed, especially like going to see comics or hearing sets that people have done like over and over, because like, you know, if you're around like the local scene, a lot of the time you run into the same people we'll just be like featuring on a show. And so you get kind of like used to their material a little bit. But my thought was like it felt like that show had a really good rhythm, and by rhythm specifically what I mean is like on certain shows, to me at least, it seems like you get on a really good like sort of rapport or a good track with the audience. Like you and the audience get on the same wavelength, and they're kind of like then they start kind of like hanging on what you're saying, as opposed to like sometimes I've seen like the same set done, but for whatever, maybe they're rushing through it, or maybe the audience is like a certain way, but I don't really know how to actually quantify it. But it's just like it seemed like that was a good rhythm. Like I don't know if you felt that way doing the set, if you felt like you were in sync with the crowd.
The audio of the video is actually really not great either, because it was just recorded on somebody's phone. My problem with videos is I always get the worst audio from the audience, so you can always hear me, but you can't hear the audience reaction that well. But no, that was a great show. That was the Scotts Bluff show. It was Kyle Pogue's show, and the owner of the brewery came up to me afterwards and was like, "You're the funniest girl that we've had here. We should have you back." So it was a really good set. But to answer your question about like energy,
that's a good way to put it. You know,
the caveats that like you can never blame the audience, right? And that's not always entirely true, but you shouldn't ever blame the audience. It's bad etiquette to blame the audience. Your own headspace when you go up there makes so much difference, because if you are in your own head and you're not watching their faces and you're not actively like part of the audience reaction, then they're not going to connect with you. You could get up there and you could say absolute gibberish about what happened to you that day, which honestly, like Anthony Crawford, Sam Talent, those guys are so good about getting up in front of a crowd and just riffing, because they're immediately having a conversation with the audience rather than performing in front of the audience. And it gets so hard when you've said the same thing over and over again to stop yourself from just performing, especially if you're having like a bad day. But that ability to like snap yourself into that room with them is honestly, I think 50% of a good performance.
Totally makes sense.
And there must be like tricks for how to do that. Like you said, maybe like asking them a question or trying to make it more of a conversation.
Eye
maybe
contact or.
I mean, I think it's directly relatable to doing a presentation. I think if you're making a big presentation in front of people and you're in your own head, you're not going to come off as a presenter. You're going to come off boring, and people will be able to see that you're nervous too, and that's probably what they're going to be thinking about. So I couldn't agree with you more on that. That makes total sense.
And just for the record, Neil, I did say she killed, and I could hear it fine. So I'm just putting that out there, just if you weren't listening, because you don't listen.
One of the worst performances I've had.
What did you say, Will? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was saying one of the worst performances I've ever had. Like my biggest there's two bombs that I remember for the rest of my life, and this was like the second bomb that I'm still scarred by. But I'm pretty sure what happened, because I got up there and I did like 20 minutes that have been killing everywhere else for months, but I was wearing a hat and I kept playing with the fucking hat, and I'm convinced that that's why the audience turned against me, because I was on stage just tugging this stupid thing on my head and it wouldn't stay, and it's so distracting, and they could tell, and they just didn't buy into me.
They were focusing on the hat, not focusing on your jokes. They were like, the hat was the show. Like, is it going to stay? Is it not going to stay? Is she going to pull it again? And then it takes them out of like actually being part of what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, that gets right back to like presenting, right? If you see someone fidgeting with their tie or with their hands, then that becomes more distracting. You don't listen to what they say. Yeah, that really does just get back to, if you have good presentation skills, you can kind of wordsmith whatever to get people engaged, at least. Not even
people want to do anything except listen to you. You know, like if you give them anything to look at or be distracted by that's not your words, they're in. They're not even paying. They're just like 5-year-olds that way. You know?
Huh? I was pointing at Neil while you were saying people want to do anything but listen. No, I'm just giving him shit because like last time we were talking, he was clearly just like looking at himself for like the first 5 minutes of the video. But yeah, so, look at it.
Did you see that meme going around that said, find somebody to love you, find somebody that looks at you the way you look at yourself on a video call?
Yeah, exactly. So wait, one more quick question, and then I'll let you go, just because I feel like you have like a wealth of insight, and you're leaving soon. You're leaving town, so I have to pick your brain while I can. So you were saying.
I'm in no rush now that it's working. I don't care. We can stay on the phone forever.
Awesome. No, that's great. So, you were saying like you write everything down on the page, right? Like, you write everything out word for word. Do you generally like record what you've done and listen back and try to like map out what you wrote and what's funny, or how do you evaluate like that a specific joke, not like the whole set, but like let's say, oh, the joke about, you know, making out with a goldfish on Molly or a dog who's trying to convince you that, I can't remember the name of the band because I don't know.
Gin Blossoms.
The Gin Blossoms is a good band, right? Like, so that seems to, those are like, that's like a punchline kind of and like a tag. So it's like a clear punchline. Do you ever like, because one thing I had heard to do was kind of like take the recording and then take the thing you've written down and then like go tally where people are laughing or kind of try to figure out like.
Yeah, absolutely. You should do that. Do I do that myself religiously? No. I hate the sound of my own voice. I can't stand it. I make the recording and then it just gets lost and I forget about it. But that is not correct. That is bad homework doing. So yes, you should be recording every set and making a note of it and then erasing that recording and sending it straight to the depths of hell, you know? But generally speaking, after I do a set, I'll remember whatever, like one or two lines, because you're kind of improvising the whole time too, right? Like that Gin Blossoms line, I don't ever say that just came out in that set. I was watching the set today when I sent it to you and I was like, oh shit, I forgot I even said that, you know?
Yeah.
So usually afterwards what I'll do is I'll just sit down by myself for like 10 minutes after I get off stage and write down new stuff that I said that I liked. So usually I'll get like 2 or 3 lines out of every new set that's a new thing to try out again. And then it just sort of evolves too. You know, that come versus come joke has had so many iterations of it, just because I say it a little differently every time, and you just kind of fall into the rhythm of the way you like it. But yes, do the recording, do the homework. That is the thing to do. Don't be me. I'm a bad comedian that way.
And I actually do have one more question question it is. What would you
All right, we're all out of time today. Thanks for coming, Bridget.
Like if you were to really make it, would it be in stand-up, or like do you see yourself writing for a show, or what's like your end-all be-all goal? And then as like a spin-off of that, what would you like to plug, I mean, to the 5 people that are listening?
Three of them are on the call.
Yeah.
The 5 furries that are listening to us.
And the furries. We can't forget about our furries.
Yeah.
Well, what I was going to say is, just the plug really quick. Those letters that Jay was talking about, I have been doing those since the beginning of the quarantine, and they're not funny by any means, but I am a writer. And so they've just been some pretty heavy, in-depth discussions about cultural issues and religion and all sorts of stuff like that. So it's letters from the pandemic. If you go to my Twitter, Bridget Callahan, there's a link to sign up. And it's free and it's random. I send out like 2 a week whenever I feel like writing. But that's what I've got going on now. And what was the other question?
Bridget Callahan? Is it just what's the Twitter handle?
It's at Bridget Callahan. Yep.
Okay.
We'll put it on the screen.
Yeah, Jay.
I don't know the question of. I think that with all the arts, you can kind of quantify like 3 different paths for people, right? Like you're either going to become a teacher, which in comedy looks like running workshops, doing conferences. It's a lot of improv, like that's where all the teachers are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you're a stand-up performer, or you go into writing, or you're a host. I think you're either a stand-up performer total, you're a writer, or you're a host, meaning you're like more of a radio personality or podcast guy or something like that, right? I'm definitely more of a writer. I always have been. I think I'm good at stand-up, but I don't think I'm a genius at it. I do think I'm real good at writing. Okay. So if I was going to bet on myself, that's where my biggest talent is, and that's where I still try to focus. I love stand-up and I love doing it because it's fun and it spurs those writing juices. But I know where my really good set is, and it's a lot of self-awareness, right? I mean, I know a lot of hosts who are not good stand-up, but they're great at bringing up the energy of a room and talking to people and things like that. And then I know some people who are the worst at it, but you give them a microphone and all the attention and they're wonderful. So you just kind of have to test it out and be willing to say what you're not good at, because it's not helpful to anybody to pretend you're good at everything, right?
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you. That's all the questions I had.
All right.
Yeah, this has been really, really good. I think like we needed some actual like info about stand-up to fill up this segment that we do, because mostly it's just been people like us who are like, we don't know anything. So yeah.
Did you know that every stand-up in Denver right now is dying to be on a podcast? You can get so many people right now.
Well, I'll probably hit you up offline and just ask you if you can give me like specific names of people who would be willing to put their stuff out there, because we definitely need guests. So it'd be nice. Absolutely. And I mean, it's also just a good way to get to know cool people, you know what I mean? Yeah, who are hopefully going to be around the stand-up scene as well. I think Neil, we're like kind of trying to convince Neil to get into it. He's never done it before, but Will and I are like, you know, whether it's January or July, hopefully we're going to jump on some mics. So yeah. I guess if you're still around, then we could hang out together. But if not, then I guess we'll keep in touch. We might, you know, bring you back from wherever you are, Belgium or something.
Well, you know, this is the thing. I keep telling people I'm moving, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's so sad." And it's like, dude, we've just been existing with each other online for months now. Like, there's no difference. You know?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'll leave the state, and it will be as if we are having the same level of interaction. You know?
Yeah, very true. Sort of depressing, but well, anyway, I'll let you go. Thanks for jumping on,
Bridget.
We appreciate it.
It's nice to meet you guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Awesome.
That was cool.
Great.
All right, so let's transition, shall we?
Transition.
What did you guys think of? What did you guys think of that segment before we transition? Just quickly.
I liked it a lot. I think a lot of that stuff, for me, definitely some light bulbs clicked around making it more of an interactive performance.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
Just a performance, and I had not ever, like, I guess I would think going on stage and just, you know, you're doing it, but it makes it probably more comfortable to perform too when it's more conversational and you're like looking at a person and watching them laugh and then waiting for that. So that was one of the main things that I took away from it.
That's why I think when you do stand-up, it should be a story. I think storytelling is huge when it comes to stand-up. If you're just going to come up with not one-liners, but just small little jokes, I feel like it's so much more difficult to just tell jokes compared to telling stories. If you can tell a story, you don't have to memorize anything. You just got to know the story. And it's going to come out probably every performance slightly different.
Yeah.
But you just roll with it. If it's a good story, it's going to come out funny regardless for the most part, as long as you present it well. So, but there's that guy we saw, Will. You remember at that ice cream place in the back with the safari stuff? And he was just doing one-liner after one-liner after one-liner, and he was killing it. It's one of my favorite performances of all time. I don't remember. If we can get that guy on the show, holy cow.
Ice cream shop guy, if you're out there listening, we want you as a guest.
You guys are giving out kills like it's nobody's business.
This is the first kills we've given on the show, by the way.
Like nobody's business handing out kills. If you want a kill from me, that guy was a kill. If you can get up to that, you killed it.
So Neil likes really simple, really fast jokes. I mean, the guy, it was
knock
really
jokes.
Everyone has their own
that's
style,
fine.
right?
You two are extremely nice. What can I say? You guys are very nice people, and I'm not gonna hand out kills.
For me, it's nothing to do with nice. It has to do with actually, I laughed at every single one of her jokes, or 90% of them.
Yeah, now we have to put in the part where you said you couldn't hear, dude. Because now it looks like
we already said that.
I'm saying that wasn't. We weren't gonna put that in.
It was part of the. It was.
Nice.
Okay. Let's move on.
Last segment, huh?
Yeah. Quick. Let's do it. Fine.
The time is ticking.
Let's answer some advice. Let's hear it.
First question we got here from our viewer is a little bit of a long one, so give me some time here. Yesterday, my friend and I were at a hardware store, and she needed to buy $120 worth of parts for a project she was working on. She reached her spending limit on all of her credit cards. She claims she has the money in cash, but I'm not sure about that, as she has spent nearly all of it that I'm aware of on this new project. She asked me if I had a debit card so I could pay for it, as her cards kept declining. I never loan anyone money over $20 because of experiences I've had in the past, but I was so eager to leave the hardware store that I covered it just so we could leave. She said she would pay me back the next day by Venmo. Didn't happen. It's been a week now, and she hasn't received any money. I make a minimum wage, so $120 is a lot to me. How long should I wait to ask for money back? I don't think she has the funds to actually pay me back.
I can go first.
Go for it.
Some advice that I got from my dad growing up was only give money to friends or family that you're good with never seeing again. So it's kind of past already.
Good with never seeing them, or good with never seeing the money?
The money again.
Yeah, I agree with that advice. I've heard that.
You just gotta say, okay, well, I mean, it is what it is. This is part of our friendship. I might not ever see it again.
Right.
But what it gets down to, that is super tricky, especially depending on how close they are. To bring that up, that can definitely be an awkward conversation. But I'm curious if she's brought it up at all, or if just a week has passed. And I guess one thing what I would bring up, or if you haven't brought up anything,
she hasn't brought it up, it seems like.
Then the first message I would say is, listen, not sure if you forgot, but I lent you the $120 last week. I understand if you don't have it now, but maybe we could set up some kind of payment plan. Maybe you don't have $120 right now, but do you have $5? Do you have $10? Do you have $20? I'm willing to work with you, but making it also about like, hey, it is a big deal. I don't have $120 that's just sitting around. So I think if the person's truly a friend, they'll recognize that you actually did them a favor, and you just being open and giving other options of how she could pay back, I think is the best advice.
I'm really glad you said that, Will, because I've been meaning to talk to you. That $50 you owe me. Do you want to set up a payment plan, or like?
I'm good for it, baby.
I'm using your advice. I'm literally using your advice.
I think the first part of his advice was, if you lend someone money, don't ever expect to see it back again. That's what I've always heard, personally. Yeah. Is that like you never? There's no.
I'm asking him though, Jay.
Yeah.
I gotta ask.
So yeah, I have some interesting advice on this. Actually, I'm gonna pivot. My advice is really for the friend who doesn't have the money, who like, you know what I mean, who she lent the money to. It sounds like she's broke. I mean, if you're multiple cards maxing out, it's clear that she's never going to see that money again. So I think what the friend who has like the maxed out credit cards needs to do is start. I don't know if you guys have heard of onlyfans.com. She needs to start an onlyfans.com. Is she hot, by the way?
That's a great. I have no idea.
Probably,
bro.
yeah.
She doesn't have to be. She doesn't have to
if
be.
If she's one of Neil's Instagram friends who's DMing him advice, she's probably at
Very
least
hot.
a 7.5, maybe an 8.5.
I know that, baby.
So
I don't just hand out follows.
Yeah, exactly. Neil doesn't just accept DMs from anybody. That's what you guys have to realize. No, so yeah, what the broke friend needs to do, I mean, the one friend is fucked. You're never seeing that money again. Goodbye. What the broke friend needs to do is, if she has friends, right? So she's probably like, you know, at least, like I said, not super unattractive. So what she needs to do is just be like, hey, look, I'm going to have this money, but you need to tell all your boyfriends and like all the guys in your life, your husbands, your fathers, your sons, to sign up for my OnlyFans. I will give you a portion of their membership fees over time. That's the payment plan. So like if your husband signs up to my OnlyFans and he's giving me $5 a month, I will give you $5 a month until the debt is paid, and then anything after the debt is paid goes into me, and now the friend's not broke anymore, and she's being responsible to her debts. And so that's my advice.
OnlyFans is kind of new, right? Is that new?
I've actually never signed up for anyone's OnlyFans, but if this girl wants to join, Again,
But what is it? I think there
have
might
the
be
money.
some
I have
people-
$120 if she wants to make some private videos, bro. I'm just saying.
For those people that don't know, Jay, tell them what OnlyFans is.
Oh, it's like you can show your vagina and people have to sign up to a subscription model to see it. It's basically it's easy.
You can just show like revealing photos and make videos.
Oh yeah,
and
revealing photos. No, dude, it's people like squirting all over their rooms and fucking,
I thought you said you
putting
haven't signed up
household
for
objects inside of their bodies. That's what OnlyFans
this
is
is
about.
pretty
dude.
deep. Details.
Yeah, for someone who hasn't signed up for a page, you sure have a lot of details of what's going on in OnlyFans.
Jay, are you the one that? Do you want to see cum on cum in the microwave? Like,
Is that you?
is that a special request?
Oh, he got the call back, Jay.
Yeah.
Call back.
Good try there. No, but I mean, again, if you're eating multiple people's
It's
cum,
a thought that counts. It was,
yeah,
it was
yeah. No,
execution. I'm
keep
not
working.
good at execution.
You're no
but
You're no
control.
Bridget Callahan. Let's put it that way. No, but yeah, I mean, again, if you eat your own cum on OnlyFans, I mean that's a $10 a month level subscription thing. If you're just masturbating or showing your
10?
breasts, or
I feel like
no,
10's a minimum.
No, the minimum is $5 a month, I think, and then it goes up from there. But a lot of chicks during the pandemic have been desperate, and I mean, mostly it's just chicks I follow on Instagram. Not that I know personally, just like women whose butts I like to look at and stuff. Basically,
Booty reference.
they always post on their stories like $3 this month only from my OnlyFans, like exclusive sale. So like what she needs to do is really get a bunch of OnlyFans people, and she'd easily be able to finance whatever stupid hardware project she's doing.
So her friend just needs to become a porn star, basically. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but a
yeah.
self-made porn star,
self-made
like
What is that called?
it's like it's like the Uber of porn. It's like before you had to have a taxi.
Entrepreneur.
You know what I mean? You had to have like a taxi to be a taxi driver. Now you just get in your own car. It's like all you need is a webcam, and now you're a porn star.
It's called, guys. I got one. It's called a entrepreneur. Did it?
Well, that being said, on to the next question.
Wait, what's your advice, Neil? Or do you agree or disagree?
Next question.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. You guys, I think we've hit
We
it.
killed it.
Yeah.
My advice is the right answer to that one. So
The payment.
Not be doing
the payment plan and the OnlyFans.
And you should not be fucking doing house projects if you don't have money. Like, how do you have food? How do you pay
You didn't
rent?
say it was a house project. It just says project. I don't know if it was a house project.
From a lumber store? You don't need to be doing any
she should be
projects.
building a swing that she can attach to like her
Maybe
her,
she's an
her
artist.
ceiling, and then like
Maybe.
she can swing from the ceiling when she's doing her videos and do like acrobatics. Anyway, I don't know. Just if
I
you want me to
think-
produce your videos, just call me because I have a
Don't-
lot of ideas.
Don't we all have that friend though that when you give them money, it's not coming back?
Neil
We
Schneider.
all have that. I knew Will's gonna say that stupid. It's just so dumb that he says my name there. It's just so, especially when he owes me money. Everybody
What do I owe you money
owes
for?
me money.
What
For
is
what?
what does he owe you for?
The concert.
What
What
concert?
concert?
That
The
we
concert
haven't
we didn't
even
go
been
to.
that I haven't gotten a refund
They're
for?
refunding us. They just emailed us today.
It's a concert in 3 weeks that hasn't been canceled yet. And
No.
he's won-
It got
They
canceled
canceled.
today. But it got canceled today. But this is not interesting for the viewers. Everyone's canceled.
All right.
Concerts have been canceled.
So,
Next question. Let's
Will
hear it.
owes me money, everyone. Okay, payment plan, Will. All right. Or maybe Will should make an OnlyFans. All right, but he wouldn't make any money.
Why? So you can
Okay.
subscribe? Oh, got him!
There were two jokes there.
Neil knew it was coming and he
All
tried
right, we
to
gotta
get
do
it
this
in
quick,
before.
guys. We got
Let's
10
do it.
minutes
Come
to
on,
wrap
come on.
this up.
All right, we got 10 minutes.
All right.
This is a long
Hello,
one.
guys.
Hi.
I just quickly want to say, Neil, I wish you could run for president now. You're exactly the leader this country needs.
Did you write this
can't
one?
write the question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Neil.
He's
Thank you.
writing his own
Thank you to
advice
the person that
questions.
submitted this. Thank you. That being said,
You're never getting back on the show, by the way. So thank you
that
for that.
being said, I have been betting on the UFC for years. I honestly don't know too much about the UFC, but I have friends who do. They give me their picks and say I should bet on them. They even use the word lock on some of their picks. Most of the picks and locks I follow their advice on lose. And when I don't bet, their picks win and they tell me I should listen to them. Should I keep betting on UFC or not? That's a great question. Jay?
Guys,
Jay,
this has
go
been
first.
this has been a great
Sounds like
episode,
it's
guys.
degenerate.
Thanks for joining us. This has been a great episode.
No.
Listen,
Gotta answer
Neil.
the question.
All right, here's the answer, dude. I don't know who's gonna win. I don't know if there's gonna be bad judges. But do I know more about the UFC than you? Yes. Do I pick better than you? Yes. If we went head to head, would I beat you every single card on picks? Yes. So
wait, what's going on here? Why are you saying me?
Okay, it's
Someone
you.
Wrote this question.
He's writing this question about last weekend.
So, guys, this is evidence that you need to send in advice, or else it's gonna be Neil just tooting his own horn, getting sad about picks.
Yeah.
You guys want to know how sad Neil got this weekend from losing?
Neil, the thing is, Neil, here's my advice, okay? Here's my advice.
So the person that submitted that.
To the person who submitted that. You probably need to stop gambling so much. Stop betting on horsies, because you're probably betting on horsies.
Whoa. First of all,
if the person's betting on UFC, they're definitely going to be.
I don't know who they're talking about.
If you're betting on horsey races, little horsies running around the track, then you have a problem. That's my advice to the person who sent this in.
Whoever submitted this, okay, I feel you. I've been in similar situations.
Oh yeah, really?
Okay. So my advice to you is don't bet on the UFC because they don't even have judges that know how to score cards. So even when you're right, you're wrong at the end of the day.
Yes.
So just don't do it, and don't listen to your friends who say
too
they have
close.
loss, because they don't have loss. They have losses.
All the fights are just the fighters are so good that even big favorites, I mean, they might win, but you never know when it comes to, a 15-minute match of people punching each other and kicking each other. People can get knocked out, and you're at the highest level already. And if you are going to be betting, my advice, which I already gave you, not the person that's
the person who submitted this.
Personally,
I don't know.
You have done very bad in UFC betting.
Yes.
Innocent until proven guilty.
What I would say is that you should only bet when you know it's experienced judges. So if they're in Las Vegas or something.
Yeah.
And what I would say is that I know that you got upset this weekend on some bets that Jay and I had told you. And you were the one that almost started crying through text. I could tell, guys, stop it. Seriously, I'm so mad right now. I stopped texting this thread. I'm done for the night in all caps.
Well, that's fake news because that never happened.
Well,
so.
I'm about to post a screenshot.
Thank you for the person that submitted their problem. Thank you for submitting that problem. And yes, I agree. I should run for president right now. But
I also think you should work.
They didn't say how good looking you were
and how skinny you look.
So I appreciate it.
Well, I just want to say Neil looks incredibly skinny. Yeah. I mean, I think what I've learned from that last question is you need to work harder on trying to get advice before we're filming and not just do it the same afternoon. So then you write in your own questions about gambling, which no one cares about except for you.
The judicial system, innocent until proven guilty. All right. So,
well, this isn't the American judicial system. This is the podcast rules, and in podcast rules, it's very clear that you just made that last question up.
I'm glad that people are viewing the show and submitting their problems because then it brings up like stuff like this, and I'm really excited.
That we can all relate to, right? Specifically, Neil can relate to the most, but yeah, we can all relate to that.
Just stop betting on horsies, dude. Those poor horsies. They get whipped and they get hurt.
All right, good show, everyone.
This has
good
been
show.
We kind of went off the rails this one.
Will, do you have anything to say?
I'm good.
Wait, you're not wrapping the show. I'm wrapping the show.
We'll
go for 5 hours, Neil. If I don't wrap the show, you're sitting in
5 hours.
Yeah, your contributions to the show have been great. Oh, I couldn't hear your comedy, so I'm gonna have to say that you didn't kill because I couldn't hear any of the punchlines through Zoom. Well, maybe you should just turn the volume up or use headphones.
I legit could not hear
headphones. Use headphones.
Well, you'll see when you listen to it back. We'll see that the audio stunk.
No, because it
didn't. Anyway, this is enough. Thank you guys. Episode 4 in the books. Who Invited Will? Subscribe on YouTube, whoinvitedwill.com. Follow us on Instagram at whoinvitedwill. My two co-hosts, Will and Neil, doing funny gestures. Anything else, guys?
44 Schneider.
Adios. See you later. Bye.